It was just last month that two suicide bombers set off explosions, killing nearly 100 worshippers at a Christian church in Peshawar, Pakistan. 2 days earlier, 15 people were killed at a mosque in the city of Samarra in Iraq. August 14th and 15th of this year, there were simultaneous attacks launched by Muslim terrorists at more than 50 churches across Egypt. Also in that country, at a New Year's Eve Mass in 2010, 21 people died when a suicide bomber struck the All Saints Church in Alexandria.
It was very bloody. I saw bloods in this church because you see this church, and next to the church there's a hospital, and between the church and the hospitals there's stairs that lead to the hospital, that all covered with blood.
Further south on the African continent, 17 people, including 3 children, died in the June 2012 bombing of a church in Garissa, Kenya. The Jewish Defense League says so far in the 21st century there have been 51 attacks on synagogues around the world. Back in this country, most of the violence in our houses of worship involves shootings or stabbings. Just weeks ago, on September 27th, the pastor at the Tabernacle of Praise Worship Center in Lake Charles, Louisiana, was shot and killed as he was preaching.
Witnesses told police Carey walked into the church, shot the pastor once, then again at close range, after Harris had fallen to the floor. He then fled the scene.
August 5th of last year, a racist nut job burst into the Sikh temple near Milwaukee and murdered 6 temple goers. One of the worst of the nation's church shootings taking place in December 2007, when 13 people were shot in the sanctuary of the New Life Church in Colorado Springs. 4 of those people died.
The gunman opened fire in this parking lot on the east side of the church, shooting 5 people. 1 died at the scene. So did the gunman, who was shot by a church security guard.
A courageous security staff member who probably saved many lives today.
In March of '09, the pastor of a small church in southern Illinois near St. Louis was killed and 2 of his members stabbed by the same assailant.
I have to go back to Scripture to know that this event, like all events, will pass. This too shall pass.
At a church in Knoxville, Tennessee, July 27, 2008, 2 people died and 7 were hurt when a crazy man opened fire during a youth musical performance. Why did he do it? He claims he disagreed with the church's liberal teachings. The wave of violence in America's churches have made church leaders much more security conscious, and increasingly church personnel have been going to security seminars, like this one held in Houston, and taking part in on-site training scenarios, such as this one at a church in Richmond, Virginia. It's an unfortunate sign of our times that churches can no longer afford to simply place their faith in God, but must also place it in security guards, to focus attention on weapons as well as worship, to be concerned with saving lives along with saving souls. In May of last year, an on-duty security guard fell victim to violence. 84-year-old Joseph Lewis was killed while on guard in the parking lot at a church on the west side of Detroit.
It is alleged that the defendant, Boone and Williams, approached Mr. Lewis and a physical altercation ensued. The suspect fired shots, fatally wounding him.
My family is relieved. We're still saddened by everything that happened. We don't understand why.
While more and more churches have security personnel on hand at services and other church functions, many are still unprepared for a violent attack. According to the National Organization of Church Safety and Security Management, 70% of America's houses of worship have no kind of security force or even a safety plan.